So long as like alchemy.
Is this what y'all came for? Is this what y'all came for? Houston, Golden State, Game 1. PJ Tucker's like, I better wear this jacket while I still can, man. I got to get this in for the TNT cameras, Harden beard. And right away, James doing what he does. Getting to the rim, bulldozing KD, and Draymond's like, don't touch Slim like that. And Draymond needs to watch himself. Let's keep it a buck right now. That was uncalled for. And to pick up a T in the first 90 seconds of the game, that's what, almost 47 minutes of action he's got to go without screaming at the refs. You knew that wouldn't happen. And Harden came out as expected in MVP form, relentlessly attacking Steph on the switch. This time it's the step back. But here's the thing about the beard. As an amazing talent as he is, he always has a victim mentality. Now watch him roll his ankle. No, he didn't roll his ankle. He just got the wind knocked out of him. Look at E40 get up like he's ready to check his pockets right there. Shout out to the 40 water representing on the road. But a scary moment for the Rockets fans as it appeared their MVP was down in a heap. But what I talk about is the victim mentality. It takes a toll psychologically on his teammates that he's always acting as if he's terribly hurt. KD, not the case. Doesn't even put it on the floor. Just face up game on point. Now CP's turn. Trying to get into his chest. He just hits him with the pirouetter. The man had it going. And I want to credit the 3 other All-Stars for realizing, yo, we got Slim in Reaper mode. Let's feed him the rock. And that's what they did. 13 points in the first quarter as he really dominated. But Harden would have an answer. You know he's going to get buckets. Watch him throw it up here to Capella. Not sure Clint touched the ball enough in this game, y'all. Looney did an admirable job, but lets him go all the way left. Look at him crush it at the rim. Harden's got that sneaky, chubby athleticism, right? You're like, I don't think he should be doing it, but he does. Second half, Golden State continues to feed. Easy money. Sniper hits the 3 ball. Both these teams continue to attack the switch. Capella does very good laterally, but it just doesn't matter. Drew Holiday still having nightmares from round 2 as KD continuing to do what he does. Steph, very aggressive defensively, over energetic and active, gets the turnover. Iguodala, when he gets double digits, what's the stats on that? Let me know, analytics crew. Steph the high five, but he kind of had an off night. And Mike D'Antoni, I'm going to say this right now. If Nene plays another minute in this series, I'm coming for your head. And I don't even fuck with the Rockets like that. KD eats Nene up on the switch. Here's CP. Look at this little motion. Eric Gordon finally found a rhythm late in this game and gave this Rockets crowd something to cheer about. But would they have enough down the stretch as the system started to take over for Golden State? Transition trailer 3. Clay, he had 6 of them bitches on the night. And you know when Clay's hitting you with the kiss of death on the road, that could be problematic. Yeah, Harden, the defensive effort's just not there from the start. KD, once again, being guarded one-on-one, just continued to make him pay as Houston seemed content to match baskets. The only problem was they were down double digits for most of the second half. Here we go, under 5 minutes. Do they have a late push? Out in transition, Steph could not seem to find the rhythm offensively, but he did other things. Now here's a huge missed call. NBA, you need to take a look at this because it resulted in a wide open Clay 3. As if there wasn't any other bad calls in this game, Scott Foster. But as you can see, a backcourt violation goes uncalled, results in a 3 ball for Golden State late. But hey, I'd like to bring up the screen set on Ariza that resulted in a 3 ball, but I'm not going to go there. Steph gets to the cup late and really seals the deal as Golden State flexes in game 1 on the road. Hey, y'all need to go get that boom called it, man. Oh, it's really like gambling without risk. And what you're doing is you're picking live games, and as long as you're picking winners, your points are ranking up. Now, the top 20 each week get a cash payout. But there's a special competition going on right now. The first person to 1,000 points in a week, that's $1,000 cash in your pocket. Man. All right, game 1. I don't know about y'all, but I didn't think that they would get this one. I really didn't, but who knows, right? So they start the death lineup. Steve Kerr starts Andre Iguodala, and I thought that was a real sign of respect towards the Rockets because everybody likes to talk about always holding that, that ace up their sleeve, and they rolled it out right away game 1 on the road. So I was like, okay. And then he quickly flipped it, right? Looney came in about the 8-minute mark, and I think he realized Capella was too much of a factor in the paint without a true big man in there. I guess Draymond stayed on him anyway, but the death lineup, the rotations, Iguodala, I think he picked up a quick second foul, right? And then he went to Looney, and then Nick Swaggy P. Young showed up and hit 3 first half 3-pointers. So shout outs to Nick, man. Really shout outs to Nick. Fucking KD was in God mode, right? KD was in God mode, man. And let me explain something to y'all. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. So Kevin Durant's a unicorn, right? He's a little older of a unicorn, but you put him in that category with these guys. And one thing that that these unicorns seem to have a common trait is they lack that elite level of competitiveness. And it's because they're unicorns, because they're freaks of nature. Things come very easy to them, and they always stick out usually wherever they go, right? So they just don't have that kill in them sometimes. And I'm not saying Kevin Durant's a killer like on the Kobe Bryant level or anything like that, but he acts as if he's not a unicorn, if that makes sense, right? So he has that extra notch of competitiveness. So I was very confident in KD and what he would do in this series, and he came out and he carried the load, man. Now, the Steph matchup, right? And here's the thing about Steph and how he looked. I think he looked physically better. What I think he's struggling with is shot recognition. I don't think he quite knows when and where he wants to shoot the ball, and you can only kind of figure that out within a game. You can't simulate that in practice, scrimmage, or drills, right? You have to feel it within the flow of a game, and that's where you're seeing him struggle a bit right now is shot recognition within the Western Conference Finals, where they're being very physical with him. But I want to credit him, man, because he came out and he did exactly what I challenged him to do. He was willing to spend more energy on the defensive end than he was on the offensive end. And I thought he did an admirable job. Now, shout out my guy Double A on Twitter. And, I think everybody, Warrior fans, were concerned. The closing few minutes of that third quarter where Golden State had controlled the third quarter, KD, I think he was just dominating, right? And Kerr took KD out, and you saw KD was visibly mad. Nene was in the game, and it looked like a real strategic mistake, and he brought Steph in. But then he quickly flipped the script, and I think the lead went from like 13-7 or something like that within a matter of 2 minutes. So it was a strategic error. But let me explain to you what I think Kerr was doing. I think, one, he wanted to get KD some rest going into the fourth because we knew that was the guy he was going to ride home with the hot hand. But I think the second part of what he was trying to do was let Steph kind of get loose in the final 2 minutes. Steph, the cost of KD dominating and being so amazing offensively is other guys don't get to touch the ball as much, right? The offense wasn't flowing as much as sometimes we've seen it because we were riding KD, and it affected Steph. Steph needs to dribble the ball. He's a rhythm player, and I don't think he got to bring the ball up and just touch the ball, enough to really find a rhythm offensively. And I thought that's what Kerr was trying to do in those final 2 minutes. Like, all right, KD's off the floor. Steph, this is your time. Don't worry about giving the ball to KD because believe me, even if you're Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, when Kevin Durant is on fire, a part of you is like, well, I probably shouldn't shoot. Let me just feed KD. That's the right thing to do. We're a team, right? So taking KD off the floor those final 2 minutes was trying to get Steph going. Obviously, it didn't work out, and Kerr quickly adjusted. I don't want to credit Kerr for adjusting with Looney and Swaggy very quickly as the death lineup was off to a rough start in this game. Now, I brought up late in the game, they had the death lineup out there minus Steph. It was Sean in his spot. And I thought the basketball move would be to leave that in there because you're protecting a double-digit lead on the road. But I said that, I tweeted that out knowing there's no way in hell he's not going to put Curry back in. And I understand that as well because you don't want to, you know what kind of can of worms that opens up if Steph finishes the game on the bench, right? So Kerr understanding that you've got to roll with the two-time MVP. I don't fault him for that. I'm just sitting there watching things as a basketball coach like, you probably want to leave these five out there, right? They're much better defensively, nowhere to pick their spots. And then we already have the lead as KD was, like I said, in God mode. Now, the troubling thing if you're Houston is one, now you can't expect KD to shoot like this the whole series, but the looks he was getting, here's the troubling thing. D'Antoni comes to the presser post-game, I don't know how many of you caught this, and he goes, yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to live with KD. I mean, he's a great player. They're champions for a reason. Yeah. And all right, anyway, I'm going to leave D'Antoni alone, but my point is he basically said, we're not going to double KD. You have to live with that. And to me, that's problematic. You have to, with any of these star players, you have to be dynamic. You can't keep showing them the same look. If KD knows the double's not coming, Man, you're going to see the Slim Reaper for 4-5 games if you're lucky, Houston, right? So D'Antoni's inability to make adjustments, maybe he's fooling us and he's just saying that. But from the tonality of it and the way he said it at the press conference, it led me to believe, in all honesty, he was like, we just got to make more shots. And so D'Antoni, I don't know. That's troubling. And then another aspect of it is you saw down the stretch, how many times did Clay or Iguodala poke a ball or steal a ball that was going to the corner to a shooter? So if Houston has become predictable in game 1 of this series, that's a problem. Again, bringing up, is D'Antoni going to make adjustments, or is he just going to hope that they shoot better? That's a real problem moving forward. Looney was tremendous. Shout out Kavan. And I've brought this up before. I don't think there's any way the Warriors can keep him. Someone's going to pay him, basically more than we can offer him. But you never know. Bob Myers is a mad scientist, and what kind of genius he could pull off. The UCLA connection, I don't know. But I thought Iguodala was very good, and Sean, everybody, it was really a team effort, but particularly at poking away potential offensive rebounds or loose balls, poking the ball. If you can't get it to someone who can secure the ball. Everybody was doing that, and Draymond did a very good job on Capella, right? I think he had 2 or 3 lobs, right? So he did well, but he's got to chill out. You got to show some finesse, Draymond. We've spoken about this all season. I really was concerned that he was going to pick up the second tee because he's relentless. We know Draymond is smarter than this. You see me spatting about this. I'm pumped up. But we know Draymond is a smart dude. So he just shows some damn finesse, Draymond, with the refs. Scott Foster and these guys, we know their reputations. But if I was a referee, just watching the way he barks and talks to them during timeouts and missed calls here and there, I'd want to slap him in the face too. So that's just something he's going to have to understand. And I thought, like I said, I was worried early on. I thought the shove to Harden was unnecessary. We know the bitch-assness that oozes from him. Just let him be a bitch. You ain't got to. We already know what time it is. So he needs to control himself, because from that game 1, I don't want to get carried away here. Outside of something drastic like that happening, of Draymond losing his mind, Houston looks like they're in quite a bind, especially if they have a coach that's just going to pray that the shots go in. That said, if they're going to win a game, it's going to be this game too, right? They play Wednesday. They got a 48-hour news cycle to hear about how they're phonies, how they're frauds, and how the champs have smacked them on their home court. So I expect game 2, I expect Houston, that probably to be their best effort of the series, and for them to win game 2 Wednesday. What else do I got for you? I think that's it. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, Joe.